Should we be having females on the front line of policing? We don't want you highlighting our mistakes because we're going to stick together no matter what. We'll protect each other when we've allowed hundreds of thousands of girls to be gang raped. Hello and welcome back to Nick Talks Solo. Not done one of these for a while. I'm going to try to do more of these. People keep asking for me to talk to camera more. I just find it really difficult. You're just talking to yourself in a room, sat looking at a small little box. But anyway, let's get into this. You've all seen the videos this last couple of days of the female police officer from Manchester Airport last year who got punched in the face by Pakistani men from Rochdale. It was all over the news last year. They're in court now, these two men. I put a tweet out commenting on the video, and God did I get some crap for that. My point was simple. Should we be having females on the front line of policing? Not because they're incompetent, not because of any of that. For one simple fact, are they strong enough? The most violent people in society are men. If you're going to deal with a criminal, if you're going to arrest a criminal, they're more likely to turn to violence. And we need people who are strong enough to do it. Why do you think there's a crime epidemic in this country at the moment? Because the police are failing on so many levels for so many reasons. I'm not blaming all the failure on women in the police force. But let's be honest. If you're a burglar and you're in a house and you know the police are outside, look out the front window, there's a 6'6" burly male police officer, and you look out the back window and there's a 4'2" female police officer. You know which door you're going through. And if you don't, you're a liar. You know. Women are not big, strong, tough enough to be working on the front line. Hence why our police are becoming more and more ineffective as every decade goes by. And that's not a slight on women. They're more than competent on any other metrics in the police. But the basic one is strength. You're dealing with criminals. You've got to pin him down. You've got to take a punch. You've got to beat the crap out of people. That's what the police are for. Well, should have been for. But why do we have so many female police officers now? It's because the job of policing isn't what you think it is anymore now. It's all about community relations. But I got a lot of crap for that tweet, and I don't care, who cares? But it was surprising what I was being attacked on. No one attacked me on the points I raised. They attacked me for other reasons, which tells so much. And most of the people commenting were either serving police officers or former serving police officers. The number one attack was, the best officers I ever worked with were female officers. They were the best. Really? Let's say that's true for a moment. In which case, we only should be employing female police officers, shouldn't we? Let's only employ female police officers because they're the best. Now, when you say that out loud, you know it sounds silly, don't you? You know it sounds silly. And the reason why officers were saying that is because they've been indoctrinated by feminist ideology. And we have as a nation, we're an over-feminized nation now. And of course women can do all the jobs men can do. It's obvious, isn't it? They're amazing. Have you seen the Marvel films on TV? Women superheroes. I've seen a 5'2" woman take out 50 men barehanded. Women can do that crap, you know. No, they can't do that crap at all. And that poor female police officer with a broken nose in hysterics because shock has set in now, and she got punched over like you do a 5-year-old girl. And that's not a slight on her. She was a brave officer. She took that punch. She ran towards the criminal after the criminal had two female police officers side by side holding him. He was under arrest, and he went and pushed and pulled. He wouldn't have done that with two men next to him. Impossible. Two old fat men like me either side of him could have restrained him. But women are not strong enough. Another attack line from serving police officers and retired officers was a classic, which was, you've never worked for the police. You can't comment on something you've never done. I'm not allowed to comment on the NHS. You know that, don't you? I've never been a doctor, never been a nurse. I'm not allowed to comment. I pay for it though. I pay for doctors, I pay for nurses, but I'm not allowed to comment. Same with the police. You've never been a police officer, you can't comment. Well, I think I can because I pay for all your wages. I pay for all of them. So don't tell me I can't comment on something. And the follow-up would be, you have no idea who I am. You have no idea of my experience and knowledge. You've got no idea. I spent years based in police stations. I've trained police officers. I've designed award-winning police projects. I've got a shelf just off camera and that's got several awards. I've won off the police, off Greater Manchester Police. Don't tell me I don't understand policing. I spent years on patrol with the police every Friday, Saturday night in some of the toughest neighbourhoods in Manchester. Every Friday, Saturday night dealing with kids with the police, stopping them getting involved in crime, antisocial behaviour. And then when I set a charity up, I carried on that work on my own on the streets. No stab vest. No quick radio to call for backup. No baton. Me and somebody else walking the streets dealing with kids involved in crime. Don't tell me I don't understand policing and crime reduction. I've advised 3 different prime ministers on how to reduce crime. I've been involved in at least 2 government reports on this. How do you think I won my MBE? I know what I'm talking about when it comes to policing. But police officers don't like this because what the police are trying to do and why they're trying to shut me up is we don't want you highlighting our mistakes because we're going to stick together no matter what. Deep down inside, they all know the police are failing. Of course it's failing. Look at the crime stats. The public now distrust the police. That never was such a thing 2 decades ago. We all loved the police. We're always on their side because they had a hard job to do and had to deal with the scum of society. But now we look at the police and some of us think, you're the scum of society, mate. Arresting old women for freedom of speech. Arresting disabled kids because they said, you look like my lesbian nana. We're sick of the police now. The police have lost their way. But the police have a code which is stick together at all times. And I get that because when you're working on the streets and you're being attacked, you want someone next to you who will stick by you, who'll protect you. Of course that's what you want. But the police have taken it too far. It now means we'll protect each other from criticism. We'll protect each other from accountability. We'll protect each other when we've allowed hundreds of thousands of girls to be gang raped over decades. We'll protect each other and we'll cover it up. That's not a decent code to have. You're failing. You're public servants and you're failing. The streets are more unsafe now than any time in my lifetime. All your priorities are wrong. And they're wrong because you think you know best. Well, you don't know best. You work for me. You should be doing what I'm telling you to do, what the people are telling you to do. They should be your priorities, not what you think your priorities are. Not community cohesion, community relations, pink and fluffy. Let's dance at some pride marches. None of that should be your priorities. Watching what I'm saying and policing my tweets and my words shouldn't have anything to do with you. We have criminals and rapists out on the streets. That should be your priorities. Not sticking together and avoiding any criticism, because you know if any of this criticism comes stick, it means we're all going to start criticising you more because we're sick of you as an organisation. You're failing and we're sick of paying for you. You need to do better. And instead of commenting online, do a better job, eh? How about you do a better job? How about you do nothing and just apologise for the hundreds of thousands of girls you allowed to be gang raped? How about you apologise for that? Every single one of you, every individual one of you, apologise. That will go to a certain way for me to maybe gaining a little bit more respect. But telling lies online, women are just as strong as men. The best police officers are women because they're superheroes. It's all crap. And it's crap because you're crap at your job. That's why it's crap. And I'm sick of it. And everyone I know is sick of it. So do a better job or leave. How about that? How about you just leave? Leave your job. Because you're not a force for good anymore now. You're an enforcement arm of the government. You're the Stasi. You're the Gestapo. But we need a police force, don't we? Of course we do. Because there's bad people out there. So you need to change. I'll tell you what, someone like me is going to get into power soon. And when they do, God help you. God help the top of the police, because you're all gone. And a big chunk of the officers working front line, you're gone as well, because you're not good enough. You're social workers, you're pathetic, you're overweight, you're unfit. You've got no idea how to police. And I'm sick of it. And everyone I know is sick of it. So let's get back to basics, shall we? How about we recruit people on merit? Don't do that in the police anymore now. It's all box ticking. We've nearly got 50% of women now. Police officers, fantastic. It's not fantastic. Because the more women you employ, the worse performance of the force. The force is going down every decade. British Transport Police now have stopped annual fitness tests. Why? Because they say it's unfair on female police officers. We're lowering standards all the time and we're suffering and we're paying for a worse service every year. We're all sick of it and we're sick of you. Do better, because this funding, paying your wages, will come to an end one day. We're all tired. I'm tired. And it gets me angry. Really, really gets me angry. Because you weren't this bad 2 decades ago when I was based in police stations. You weren't this bad. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. So for all the officers commenting, let me tell you this. Chief Inspector commented on my post. I looked in her bio. In her bio, she's got be kind. I'm a Chief Inspector. Be kind. Be kind to everybody. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Some of these officers had the anti-woke in their bios. Anti-woke? Thinking women is as strong as men. That's woke, mate. But you're too over-feminized. You don't realise. You don't realise we live in a feminist society now. And it's killing us. And it's killing the police service. So my final words is do better. Do better or find another job. Because this can't go on. And if I ever get into power, Jesus, things are going to change and things are going to change fast. See you next time.